Time is not guaranteed. We must live. We must live life to the fullest every single day. And we should treat life like you never know when the last time for something is going to be. Um, for me, I have a few stories I could share, but during the pandemic back in 2020, me and my friends would stay up till like 4 in the morning because there was really nothing else to do besides maybe a walk around the neighborhood for me, honestly. We would just play Call of Duty. We would just be grinding on video games, talking to each other on the mic. And you look back now, 6 years later, and for me, that's just something so simple, but it's something I'm always going to cherish. Because now I'm 26, everybody's busier, time fast forwarded. And that was really the last time I feel like we'll ever get a group like that all locked in on a video game for an extended period of time and just playing that. And I go into every year and every experience that I meet up with my friends from the past, because we all live in different places now. I'm on the road a lot too. And I always treat it like this could be the last time I see this person. This could be the last time that we get to hang out. I'm lucky if I could see my 5 best friends in this world once every year at this point. And it's really sad to think about it that way, but it also really grounds you and it puts you into perspective, because you want to make those moments as optimistic and memorable as you possibly can. And this isn't to be like a Debbie Downer or anything like that, but for me, I understand for some people, just on your average day, the biggest loss of their life could happen. Something unexpected could happen that you didn't plan for. And I've been fortunate for the most part with that regard. But eventually, family dynamics shift, people move on. And you just want to make sure that every conversation, every moment that you have with them, you do your best to make that person feel good, honestly. And for me, recently, I looked through my camera roll. I was looking back, when I was in my late teens and early 20s. And it's astonishing to me how much I was able to do, but also how much things have changed, and the time really slips by. I was working a job where there was some difference in like where I was going and traveling to for work, for sales, but for the most part, I was doing the same tasks over and over and over. And through that process, I jumped from really 23 to 26 years old, like that, like in the blink of an eye. And I was able to put away good money that way, of course, but I was also, because of that, not able to see my friends and my family the way I really wanted to and the way I felt like I needed to be there for them, which is also part of the reason why, since I left that job, I put an increased focus on those kind of things. Because every extra day, every extra moment I could share with those people that matters so much to me, I know I'll never regret that over chasing a dollar bill, right? And I think a lot of people kind of get overwhelmed with planning for retirement. The economy, of course, isn't doing us any favors right now, but the hustle culture, in my opinion, was overall a negative movement. Retirement can make sense if you balance it right, but you want to make sure you're living in a way where you have a grounding for those who matter, you're available to them. You want to make sure that you're there for holidays, not missing that kind of thing. And I really do think a lot of life is balance. For me, I want to have work that's fulfilling to me right now for the next decades, where I can also spend a lot of my time being unconventional and, seeing those people throughout. And I want to see us all grow together and age together, hopefully. And through the process, just make more of those memories That's really what matters to me. And unfortunately, that's not the path that's really encouraged in America nowadays. But for me, I'm also just thinking along the lines of, why would I want to be retired when I'm 60, 65, just to be well past my physical prime and not be able to enjoy my youth like that, not be able to travel when I could still do all the outdoor activities I enjoy doing, and be able to really experience those moments with the people that mean the most to me right now, because they might not be around by that time either, right? Nothing's guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. And I'm fortunate enough to where I still have my parents in my life. I have siblings. I can only imagine how it is for people that have faced like harder tragedies than losing, or just having those people gone in their life, or having something really bad happen to them, or they're immobile, or some debilitating disease. And I'm just here to say, like, in a world that's full of uncertainty for the future, in a world that's full of a lot of negativity nowadays, just stay optimistic, keep living, make sure every day counts for you, work on yourself, whatever that may mean to you. For me, I'm at the park recording these videos every day, and I'm walking around, getting my steps in, taking some sunlight in. It's amazing to do stuff like that. I'm trying to eat a little bit better. I got a little bad about that during the spring, but we pushed through. The next point I want to make in this video is, it's just like the moments that seem like everyday activities for a lot of people are the ones that they look back on when they're older, when they're on the deathbed, and they just wish they had those back, right? It's that one favorite pet that might have passed away, where you wish you could have one more walk around the park with that pet. It's one more laugh and story time with your parents. It's one more, for some people, working on a project with their father and just getting to grind through that with them. It's all those type of things that really make people sad. So the way to counteract that is just, no matter what higher powers put in your way, just make sure that you are going through every day doing the best you possibly can to maximize those moments with those people. Try to be as uplifting as possible, even in the face of times like we're in right now. Because at the end of the day, people are going to remember that kind of thing, for sure. And looking back through my old memories, I smile, I look through the camera roll, like I was saying earlier, and I see all the things I was able to do with people. I have hopes for the future now. I've gone through some dark periods, much like many of us have, but you gain perspective through that. You gain perspective through that, and you want to change to really be someone that others can come to when life hands them a card that they're not mentally prepared for, right? Because humans, long ago, we were a community. And I feel like in recent years, we kind of got away from that. It keeps straying more and more away from that if you just look at the trends. And I talked a little bit about scrolling in the last video, but just the time people spend doom scrolling really should be time that is spent checking in with your people. Give your family a call if you're not calling your family. You know, it's the little things like that where you're gonna look back and just be so thankful for all that kind of stuff. All that kind of stuff. Because you could always make more money later, to me. There's plenty of ways in this world to make money. There are not ways to replenish time, replenish youth, and replenish the type of person that you have been, really, to other people. You got to kind of live in the moment and not dwell on the past, but learn from it. Learn from the past and use it to make the rest of the time on this world that you've been given a better time. Another part of this equation, of course, is just work and having purpose in what you do with your job, because I understand everybody has bills to pay, lots of bills to pay, right? And if you're in a really bad situation when it comes to that, do what you gotta do to get out of it. But once you're grounded and feel comfortable with where you're at financially, you should really consider pursuing something that you're passionate about, something that'll mean something to you. Because that's another part of the equation. If you're working long weeks, doing something you don't really want to do, and in the process you're not seeing your friends and your family, that's a really bad equation, and it's only going to end poorly. So it's important to journal, it's important to check in with people, it's important to reflect on the type of life that you're really going to want to live going forward, and finding that sense of community, whatever that may be for you. For me, I've been, looking into Pokemon, like TCG, and getting into that hobby on the side. I have an NCAA football video game, like Dynasty, with my old friends. So it's just something we could play like once a week and text each other a little bit about, But of course, everybody's in different stages of life. For me now, it's like some have families, some are traveling for work, and it just gets hectic and in a hurry. And it'll only get more hectic if I'm lucky enough to keep living 30s, 40s, 50s, beyond, right? And just be someone that you can look back in the future and be proud of. You can be proud of the moves you were making. Not everybody becomes rich with money, with USD, right? But there's other ways to be wealthy. There's other ways. True wealth could be being a wonderful spouse, raising wonderful children, spending time with them, meeting other families and enjoying their company, all uplifting each other, right? It's that Michelangelo effect, where you have somebody where you can lift them up and they can lift you up, right? You don't want to be essentially dragged down. You want to help each other out. And that's where the true joy comes in life. And I think it's better not to get too much off on a tangent, but this is like the final point I'll make in this one. It's just better to take action. If you drown in your own thoughts, like I have in recent months, trust me, it's only going to make you feel worse until you proactively change. And don't worry if it's the wrong decision. Really, the only wrong decision you can make is making no decision, and just continuing to let time fly, where you feel unfulfilled and you feel like you're failing those around you and that you're not available for those people. So if you've watched to this point in the video, take this as a sign, make the most of every day, pursue what you love, have a plan, take action on that plan, and even if your way feels right to you but it's unconventional, that's okay. Thank you for watching.